bit about how much you guys, before you joined the Degrassi cast, obviously it's been on for years, how much were you aware of the show and kind of knew what you guys were getting into?
Well, being Canadian,
Yeah.
it's iconic. It's like 90210 for the States. Like it's a show that you grew up knowing, you knew it was there, and even if you watched it, liked it, whatever, you knew about it. So to join a show like that, and that's been on for 32 years, it's a true pleasure as a Canadian actor to be part of such an iconic show.
It's a huge stepping stone for Canadian actors. I mean, there's so many, famous names that's come out of the show, and which is so great.
Do you feel like it is, now that you're on American TV, do you feel like you are the new 90210 in a way?
Well, we always play with the card of like we are the age of the actors. Like that'll always hold something special for even fans to grasp onto. So like it's like it can relate to us a lot easier.
Also, nothing's really glamorous on Degrassi. I mean, we're all regular kids wearing, regular clothes. We're not really glammed up in a way, which is really cool, and I think that's why kids relate to us so much as well.
And I mean, over the years, there have been so many issues that the show has tackled, and right now, especially with you three, there are a lot of really serious topics being tackled. Has there been anything while you've been working on the show that you're kind of surprised that the show is going there and doing a certain story the way that they're doing it?
I like for my character at least, like joining a fight club, having post-traumatic stress disorder, like that's never really been something like you hear about. Obviously relationship issues, that's obviously at the front of high school, but for me, I was like, wow, like I guess some people actually do that. Doing research, I'm like, wow, some people actually do go through this, like after a traumatic event, like seeing someone get shot, which happens quite a few times at Degrassi, actually.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, so something like that. It's actually interesting to do the research and see.
And every read through, we're always like so shocked on what's gonna happen next. We're never. It's like Degrassi, you can go as far as farthest as possible, So that's what I think is really cool about it.
How about you?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because there's so many things that go on in schools, and that's the main thing. We're trying to bring up school issues and not glamorize it, not put a spotlight on it, because we're trying to make it natural and relatable. So when there's storylines like the Fight Club, and we do a lot of gay storylines, which is fantastic, and we did the transgender storyline that was really pivotal for the show and for TV in general, because no one's really tackled that except for like Boys Don't Cry, which was an amazing film, but on TV it's never been done before.
Right.
And so to get things like that for my character with bipolar and hoarding, that kind of stuff, it's a real pleasure as an actor because you get to tackle things that you normally wouldn't do in kids' TV. So it's fun for us and it's fun for the fans.
And you're tackling things that you're not even doing in adult television. Let's
Yeah,
be
Nice.
honest.
a lot of the time that's true.
That's
very
the beautiful
true.
thing.
Yeah.
We're doing things that actors would dream of doing. And
Right.
it's a pleasure to be a part of a show like that. And then the benefits of like having kids being like, listen, I'm going through that.
Right.
And when people go through sorry, I can't even say
It's
it.
alright, man, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And people
Tongue
who are
twister.
coming out, people who
Right.
have bipolar syndrome, people will respond to that, and we get a lot of great emails.
Do you feel like there's pressure on you now because you're doing such great stories on the show and such meaningful stories of when it comes time for you to think about your next job, where do you even go?
Well, you know what? Like for acting, like you can only advance as good as your next job. So for us, like going from doing something bipolar or having do something crazy, like your ability as an actor or an actress just is improved. The more and more you're on set working with like great people, like working with people like them, it's like amazing. But yeah, so like you evolve more as an actor. So.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah, I feel like it's all depending on I feel like you can never be like, oh yeah, my next show has to be better. I have to do some crazy thing the next, because again we are actors, and we are also Canadian actors, and we're trying to make it in this industry as actors. And so a job's a job, but at the same time we always have to bring up that caliber, and I feel like you have to kind of have that upon yourself. And I feel like this is Degrassi is kind of like a school for Canadian actors.
Yeah.
Whether you've been working for 14 years, you've been working for 3, they still take you and they try to mold you in a way that really respects the acting, respects the storylines. And I think that's the benefit that we have going into
A new project.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially like the American market, because there's a nice bridge there. Because we're more, I think we're more popular here than we are in Canada, although it's a Canadian show.
I mean, I will say there's a lot of my friends that have watched the show illegally for years before they could watch it legally, so that probably is accurate. Like the numbers you're seeing, you're probably more popular than you even realize, because there are people that don't watch it on ways that you can really measure.
Well, whenever we tweet, that's always, you know, people are tweeting from all over the world, but a lot from the States. It's like more than, you know, oh, I'm from California or New York or anywhere. It's
like surprising,
really
like there's a lot of people from like Holland.
Yeah.
I was tweeting it like, oh yeah, retweet your Holland fans. I was like, Holland?
That's so cool.
Holland, what?
Ireland?
I love
Australia.
Yeah, I know.
Some from
It's
Australia.
Yeah, I know.
There's some like Peru and stuff.
I reply and I'm like, that is so cool. Like, that's so awesome.
It is crazy how far, like, even like one scene that we do, like for like even like someone who's maybe like a lesbian or bipolar, it's like it's not only affecting people in like your coastal region, it's taking it to like beyond borders. Like that's what kind of our work is doing in amazing ways.
Yeah, I mean it's not it's not a show that's really mimicked in other like we don't really have an equivalent, so they just watch yours, they watch the original. But speaking to that, I mean, are there storylines that you guys, whether they're yours or they're someone else's on the show, that you kind of, as you read the scripts, felt like, oh, they're pulling from my life. Like, this is me now. Either they're writing specifically to me because they've gotten to know me as an actor, or it's just a coincidence. Are there moments of that?
There are times like, I've never run a fight club. I'm not bipolar, but
you
like,
didn't?
I
thought I saw you.
Okay.
Downtown Scarborough, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. But like, you know, like certain like characteristics of her character, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I think I'd say that. As the writers get to know you as a person, they kind of tie things like that, but they gotta also keep your character in mind and their general outline for where they want your character to go in the future.
And for Imogen, her dad actually went through dementia this season. So I don't know if you guys read that read through, but I actually cried reading that episode because one of my family members is going through dementia right now. So that really hit home for me. And I thought it was really, I was really honored to portray that storyline and, make that my own. And I was crying during that read-through. Like, some read-throughs are tough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's the really cool thing about Degrassi for us, too. Like, there's some times where it hits you, and I remember there was a storyline when one of the characters was meeting her father for the first time, and she was also going through that in her own personal life. And with the whole dementia, that kind of hits you out of nowhere. But then when you're reading the scripts and then your characters are going through things, or like their characters going through things, and you're kind of like, holy crap, that's a weird little, but they kind of get to know you as a person. I think that's why Degrassi is so great, is because we are still kids, and we're not these 27-year-olds playing high school kids. So they feed off that, and they feed off who you are as a person. They're like, okay, well, although we respect you as actors, let's kind of blend a little bit of you in there, because then it's more relatable for the kids.
Right.
And also, like, not all, like, I love, everyone always likes, like, me personally as like an actor, everyone always tries to, like, you thrive off like the drama or the action or something you can really sink your teeth into. But I think one of the coolest things about being on a show like Degrassi is it's not always like so like action drama this. It's like you have the parts where it's like that was funny, like I'm
or that was a good scene,
you know what I mean, like that was really like
fun.
It's just funny, you know what I mean, like they do have things like that, so it's not always they make it very lighthearted sometimes.
It's refreshing.
So
it's really refreshing.
Changes the path for sure.
So coming up to the 300th episode, what is I mean, because that's, first of all, that's crazy, but talking about these different tones of the show, what can we expect from that episode? Are there a lot of milestones? Is it a mix of the light and the drama?
I think there's not going to be anything like going up to the 300th and we're going to be like, this is the
300th episode, this is what's going to happen.
I think that we're still trying to tackle new stuff. Like, we had the transgender, we've had a lot of really great storylines with different characters, but there is, coming up to the new season that's coming up in October, there is going to be something that we're going to tackle.
Right.
And that's never been done on television.
Do you want to give us a little hints as to
I
what?
can't. I'm just saying that you will love it and you'll be shocked.
Okay.
Yeah.
With every episode of Degrassi that's new, the fans are going to be just taking one thing down at a time.
Yeah.
And also getting to know characters as well. We get to know, the backstories of some characters and some characters that you never liked before. Now maybe you'll start liking because, they're different.